पांच मैसेज आए ना नीचे, दिखाना एक बार, मैं तो देख ही नहीं रहा हूँ। यस, गुड मॉर्निंग अनोक, गुड मॉर्निंग जयशंकर, यस वीनू कुमार, दैट्स ओके इफ यू आर न्यू, डू नॉट वरी। लिखता गुड मॉर्निंग बेटा, यस गुड मॉर्निंग चतुर तेजा। आई थिंक यू वर नॉट प्रेजेंट इन द प्रीवियस क्लास चतुर। गुड मॉर्निंग वाहनी, गुड मॉर्निंग तनुश्री, ग्रेट टू सी यू ऑल अगेन। अभिराम गुड मॉर्निंग बेटा, डी संतोष गुड मॉर्निंग। I hope you all are doing well in these tough times. Are you enjoying the chemistry and all other subjects as well? Yes, good morning Sai Darshak. Please tell me, how was today's test? How was today's test? Good. Okay, Santosh. What about others? Good. Sai Darshak, good. Fine. So if you have any doubt, please tell me. I enjoyed it. Good. Yes, that's the most important part, beta. Okay. People generally focuses on result. Generally, students as well as teacher, they only focus on result. They forget the main thing, that is process. If we start enjoying it, learning, if we start enjoying making fun, getting happiness, you do not need to remember beta till now, Hanok, till now things are not like that you need to you require to learn anything beta. Hanok, please go and solve questions or ask me on Telegram. I remember 1 or 2 messages came from your side. So please be in touch constantly. Try to solve questions. Ask me again and again. Okay, that will help you to rectify your mistakes. Deepak, good morning, beta. Shreyans, okay, welcome to the class. Shreyans and Venu Kumar, both of you, welcome to the class. So this is the important part, beta. You need to enjoy this because it's a long journey. It's a process of 2 years. So you need to enjoy each and every concept. Okay, you should just keep in your mind that it is also important. We are working for this only, but at the same time, these 2 years are very important, very crucial part of your life. You are going to learn, you are going to develop your character. Okay, so try to focus here. Try to focus here. Try to learn as much as increase your involvement, increase your hours for studying. So till now we have almost, anyone else, if you are having any process, I am seeing few of you are new to the class, but do not worry. See, in the past few classes, we have understood mole concept. What is mole? And related definitions. Related definitions, I have already provided the notes. Notes are already uploaded. Already uploaded. Right? Then in the next part, we have done chemical equations, right? Chemical equations. This is what we have done. And related problems. This is what we have done. So these two parts we have already covered. Okay. Till now, these two parts we have covered. Now the next part is concentration terms. Next part is concentration of given solution. So they can ask directly question on concentration, or if you see in the physical chemistry, there will be problems. To solve them, to use the formula to solve them, first you need to calculate the concentration of the given substance in the solution. So it is very important. Either they will ask you direct question based on concentration, or they might ask some other formula, some other question from other topic. Okay, but to solve that question, you first need to calculate concentration. So that is why it is very important. And I want all of you to focus here and learn. I will be telling from the basic, from very basic. So if you focus, you will not face any problem. So first thing is that what is solution? We have already covered in the starting classes what is solution and how it is different from mixture. We have already understood it in the initial classes. So solution is nothing. If you see some pure substance, for example, water. Shreyans, yes, you need to write, as it is your first class, you first focus. Shreyans, as it is your first class, so I will request you to just focus on whatever I am telling you. Just develop a bonding and try to listen whatever I am saying, because I will be providing notes for these things also. But in the coming classes, I expect you to write the things. Okay, all other students are also writing, but as it is your first class, so I ask you to just listen so that you have your focus on whatever I am telling. Okay, fine. Shreyans and Venu, right? So concentration of given solution. So solution, what is solution? Solution is nothing but it is a homogeneous mixture. It is homogeneous mixture. It is homogeneous mixture. It means it is made up of two or more than two substances. Okay. For example, there is water and you are adding some salt into it. So when you are adding salt into it, there is one bottle. Let's say this is, I am taking one example. Now I am showing you this bottle and I am asking you whether salt is added into it or not, right? So if you compare by just seeing into the solution, then it is very difficult for you to identify which solute is added into the solution, which solute is present. Okay, because what happens when you mix two things, they lose their identity. That is why it is difficult to identify from naked eyes. Okay, so I will be writing that. So it is basically pure water. But if I add something into it like salt or sugar, then also it will be looking like the same. So in that case, it will be very difficult to identify whether salt is present in the solution or sugar is present into the solution. So it will give you homogeneous mixture. Homogeneous means it will be uniform throughout. If you taste the initial part and if you taste the last bottom, then also its taste will same, its color will be the same. Okay, all other properties will remain same. So I will be writing the definition, but before that I am just telling you the components of the solution lose their identity. Yes, component of the solution lose their identity. Okay, and these components present in the solutions are termed as solute and solvent. Solvent is something in which you are adding, and solute is the thing or the substance which is added. Okay, so I'm just telling that This is a solution. If you are adding something externally, so this added substance is known as solute. Added substance is known as solute, and in which you are adding, it is known as solvent. Very simple. So in this chapter, we are going to, yes, in the salted water example, salted water, you can see solute is nothing but salt, and solvent is, if nothing is given, then you will always take H2O, or if it is mentioned, then accordingly you will change, or it is saying solution of urea, right? So in this case, solute is urea and solvent can be any other thing. But if nothing is given, we are going to take water. So you can also take aqueous. I have already told you what is aqueous. So if somewhere aqueous is written, then it also represents that it is a solution in which solvent is water. So you write the definition of solution. What is solution? You also make this diagram and then write the definition of solution. Homogeneous mixture of more than two components, more than one component, which loses their identity, on mixing. And it is difficult to separate these two components by simpler method. Okay, by simple method you cannot separate them. So these cannot be separated out. These components are known as, I will be discussing again with very basic. So just stay focused. You will have no doubt. These components are known as solute and solvents. Solutes and solvents. Write it down, then I will discuss further. So if you add salt, if you add sand into the water, will it be called as solution? If you add sand into water, no beta. Very good, Jayasankar. Correctly, you said correctly, because if you add sand into the water, first thing is it will not remain suspended. It will get precipitated. And the other thing is that it will not be a homogeneous mixture. Homogeneous means which is in which you cannot separate the two phases. If you add, you will see there is only one phase. Then it is known as homogeneous. You will find that there is only one component. Yes, that will not dissolve, and you can see there are sand particles will. Yes, sand does not dissolve. Very good. Sand will remain, will not mix with the water, and it will remain separated. So you can easily find out what is sand and what is water. So thing which is added. Also solvent can also be understood as component which the solution, the final state of solution, if it matches with the solvent, the final state of solution matches with the component, then that component is known as solvent. Okay, that if you see in our cases, in our most of the cases in physical chemistry, the final state of the solution will be liquid. So whatever thing is present in liquid state, that will be known as solvent, because the final state of the solution is also liquid. That is why liquid component will be known as solvent. And if there are more than two liquids, then the liquid which is present in large amount, right? The liquid which is present in large amount will be termed as solvent. So first thing is that the state of component matching with the state of the final solution. Okay. There are two things. You mix them and the final solution is liquid. Then the liquid component will be known as solvent. So moving ahead, types of solution. We have already studied types of solution on the basis of solvent. Types of solution. See, any solution can possess solute as well as it will have solvent. Now understand, solvent in each solution, the solvent can be irrespective of number of components, the total number of solvent. Okay, or you can say there can be only one component, one solvent. There are, let's say there are 5 components. Okay, so always out of those 5 components, one will be solvent. So solvent, the number of solvent can be 1. Solute can be 1, 2, 3, depending or more. So on the basis of first, we are defining, okay, on the basis that whether it is a binary solution, whether it is a tertiary solution or quaternary solution, we will divide it on the basis of number of components. On the basis of number of components. So our first one is binary solution. Binary solution. Okay. So in the binary solution, if you see, there will be 2 component. Binary solution means 2 component. So it is mandatory to have one solvent. So it will contain one solvent and one solute. But if it is tertiary, solution, then it will have 3 components. 3 components. That is, again, it will have only one solvent. Solvent cannot be more than one, but 2 solutes. Okay. Similarly, it can have quaternary, pentanary. Okay. So on the similar line, you can define them. Have you written this, beta? Have you noted it down? Thanks. So I think Sunday has given you a lot of energy. Sunday has given you a lot of energy. And now I see many of you are very charged and responding fast. So it's nice for us. It feels encouraged. Okay. So the next point is on the basis of amount of solute. If solute is present in large amount, then it will be known as concentrated solution. And if it is present in minuscule amount, so dilute solution. Dilute solution means when solute is present in very small amount. You have added very little. If there is one solute, what? Beta, then that will not be a solution. Solution must have two components, right? Solution must have two components. If it's only one solute, then it is a pure substance, beta. Okay. See, what I have told you, solution are mixtures. So mixtures must contain two things. And out of these two, one will be depending upon the size. I have told you, depending upon the size, they are decided into solution, then colloids, then suspension. So we are talking about solution. So there will be at least two components, beta. That is why I have written in the definition, you see, more than one component. So present in very small amount. So that will be known as dilute. And if concentrated, so dilute, you will mention it by dilute, right? DIL likha hoga. You will see DIL is written there. In concentrated solutions, you will see CONC, CONC will be written. So when solute is present in relatively large amount, it does not mean it is present more than solvent, but it means that a good amount of solute is present in the solution. So I will be discussing with the very basic beta, just focus and you will have no doubt. So have you written this beta? Have you written this? Yes, fine. So whenever a concentration of solution is given, it is generally given with respect to the concentration of solution is given with respect to solute. Okay. So note concentration of solution is given with respect to solute. The concentration terms but you will call it quaternary or ternary, I exactly do not know the spelling. Check it. If it is 5, then pentenary. So concentration of solution is given with respect to solute. Basically, these terms wants you to know how much solute is present in the given amount of solvent. That is what the basic concept we are learning. So it can be defined as, it is the ratio of solute. It is the ratio and defined as, I will be defining it, concentration of anything. So concentration can be weight, moles, or volume of solute. I am keeping it in capitals, of solute. In the numerator, there will be solute. In the denominator, again, weight, moles, volume of solution. In the 99% cases, there might be cases in which we are taking solvent. Right? It is generally a ratio of either the weight, moles, volume of solute. So you are taking the terms of the solute in the numerator, then you are dividing it by the terms of the solution, okay, or the terms related to solution in the denominator, right? So it is basically ratio of solute in the numerator. So you are taking the solute in numerator, and in the denominator you are either keeping solution or solvent, right? So this is the basic understanding. Now we can take weight by weight, weight by moles, weight by volume, or moles by weight, moles by moles, moles by volume, or volume by weight, volume by moles, volume by volume. There can be different combinations, and I will be telling you what are the important combinations which we need to study. So concentration terms can be divided into two groups. You do not need to remember whatever I am telling now. You do not need to learn it. You do not need to memorize it. These are just basic things. These are for the understanding. So you read it again and again just for your understanding. Okay. You do not need to memorize it, or you are going and learning it or memorizing it or mugging it up. This is just for the understanding beta. Concentration terms basically can be divided into two groups. Group A, and then there is group B. So group A is nothing but it will be dealing with, group A will be dealing with volume. It will be volume related concentration terms, and it is nothing but weight related. Now there is very important thing. The volume related terms does not possess consistency, because you know that volume is something which is dependent upon temperature. Volume of anything can change by changing the temperature. If you increase the temperature, the volume of any substance or any solution can change. Generally, if you increase the temperature, it expands, the volume increases. That is why these kind of concentration terms does not always give you the right information, because in this case, volume is dependent upon temperature. So volume might change. If volume may change, if volume changes, then your answer will also change. Okay. So they are volume dependent beta. They are, sorry, temperature dependent. Temperature dependent. On increasing temperature, volume may change or volume may increase, or vice versa. This is temperature independent. So if you buy something, if you go to the medical shop or any other, if you go to the if you buy real juice or anything, if you see, these units will be present over there. You will not see these things. You will see this, because this does not change with temperature. Okay. If you keep it into the refrigerator, then also the concentration terms will remain same. But in this case, because of volume can contract or it can expand, and because of that, its answer may change. But it is temperature independent. This is independent, because weight does not depend upon temperature. Okay. Then what are the different types? So you see here, you can see percentage volume by volume, or you will see percentage weight by volume. Third, you will see molarity, the most important, the actual hero of this topic. That is molarity. That is capital M. Right? Then another thing very important, that is normality. We might not be discussing, but in the later topics, we will understand what is normality also. Here it will be weight by weight, weight by weight. Second, it can be mole fraction denoted by psi. Third, it can be molality. Molality. This is molarity, and it is denoted by small m. This is denoted by capital M. Then fourth, parts per million. Parts per million. So these are the terms which we are going to study. These are 8 terms which we are going to study. Very easy, but highly useful. So till now, if you are having any doubt, please write in the chat. Any doubt? What is the last one? So what is the fourth point? This one, but it is parts per million. Parts per million. Parts per million. ppm. Very in the news. Okay. So I also want to add one more point. There will be question in which they will be giving you the information about A and they will be asking you information about B. Also vice versa. They will be giving you the information about B and asking you the information about A. But if you see, there is one basic difference, that in A, things are given in terms of volume, while in case of B, the most of the concepts are given in terms of weight. So how do we convert weight and volume? Is there any relationship through which we can calculate? If volume is given, weight can be calculated? Okay, fine. I will be using thick marker, beta. Is it okay? Is this okay? So if you want to calculate group A properties into group B, okay, group B. So actually group A is containing volume. They are containing volume based. These are volume based. And these are mass based or weight based. So to calculate volume, to convert volume into weight, what you can use? Density is equal to weight upon volume. And vice versa, also you can use density is equal to weight upon volume. So in the questions, they will provide you density. But there is one thing, they will never provide you any information about water. And they expect you to remember the information about water. So can you please tell me what is the density for water at 4 degrees Celsius? One. Okay, beta, you are right. Numerically, you are right. So density for water, I am already writing. Density for water at 4 degrees Celsius, it is nothing but 1 gram per ml or 1000 gram per ml. 1000, or you can write 1 kg per meter cube. 1000 kg per meter cube, right? So this is one thing you can remember. For water, they will never give you. I am telling you, they will be expecting you that your teacher, whoever is teaching you, would have told you the density of water. So please remember, okay? Okay, it is a matter of ego, prestige. Please do remember the density of water. I will be asking this thing again and again, right? So now coming to the first, weight volume by volume. Now let's discuss each group A. The first one is nothing but percentage weight by volume. Sorry, volume by volume. So it can be defined as, just focus here, keep your pen down. It just said volume of solute in ml present per 100 ml of solution, right? So see, if there is something related to percentage, always the total amount is going to be 100. But it is right, that is 1000 kg per meter cube, right? Yes, Santosh, whatever is written, it is correct. So this is our first definition, beta. Write it down. So you can write the formula. A simple formula for this is volume by volume is nothing but volume of solute. I have already told you the solute part will remain always in the numerator. Now volume of solute upon volume of solution, as it is wants to calculate the percentage, so you have to multiply by 100. So if I am giving you one problem that okay, there is one more thing. You also aware of that if you add the volume of solute and volume of solution, if nothing is given, if nothing is mentioned, always use this. You can always take volume of solution is nothing but volume of solute and volume of solvent, right? So a question is given 30 gram of 30 ml of ethanol are added into 45 ml of water to prepare a solution. Calculate percentage volume by volume. Solve this, beta. Yes. Yeah. Raju, you are right. No, beta. Sai Darsaj. No. You have done one silly mistake, beta. Yes. Niharka, you are also right, beta. DS Santosh, you are wrong. You all are doing something very fundamental mistake. Santosh, Sai Darshak, Hanok, you all are doing one fundamental mistake. No, Vani, beta, you are also wrong. First, you understand the solution contains ethanol. So the solute present in the overall solution is ethanol, and the solvent present in the solution is water. If you have understood this, Anjali beta, percentage cannot be greater than 100. Anjali beta, you have calculated it wrong. I have already told you things which are smaller or in the smaller amount will be taken as solute, right? No beta, the answer is, let us just focus. Beta, so I want to calculate percentage volume by volume. So I have to keep the solute volume in the numerator. So that is nothing but V ethanol. Now to calculate the volume of solution, you need to use this formula, beta. You need to add the volumes of ethanol as well as volume of H2O. So it will become into 100. So if you solve it, it will become 30 by 30 plus 45 into 100. And many of you have given the right answer. That is 40%. Yes, 40, right? DH Santosh 40, Hanok 40. That's okay. Anyone is having any doubt? So very simple problems. If you get in NEET, you can get such kind of problem. These are very simple and you will get it. Now, what volume of solute need to be added in 160 ml of H2O to get 80% by volume, 80% volume by volume of solvent. The question, you need to read it correctly. It's a very nice problem. $128. So the first thing is that they have such kind of questions you will find in IIT JEE. They do not ask problems directly they will give you information 64 ml should be added. Okay, fine. Let me first simplify this problem. They are saying 80% volume by volume of solvent. So the concentration is given with respect to solvent. But in general, if nothing is given, we take solute. So if it is saying 80% by volume of solvent, it means out of 100 ml, 80 ml of solvent is present. So you can also write 20% by volume of solute, because the summation should be 100. So from this information, you can write this, right? So from that information, you can derive this, that 80% by volume of solvent. If it is of solvent, then solute will be only 20%. Now you can use the above formula, percentage volume by volume. That will be nothing but 20 for solute. Volume of solute we are not knowing, but volume of solvent we are knowing, that is 160, plus volume of solute again we are not knowing, and into 100. This is what we have to solve. So it will become 20 into 160 plus 20 of V solute is equal to 100 of V solute. So if you solve 20 into 160 is equal to 80 V solute. So if you solve it, V solute will become 40 ml. Just tell me if you have got this. Just tell me. Look at the solution and see whether you have understood or not. Okay. Okay, fine, Niharika. Niharika, I will be explaining it again. See, if you read the problem, it said what volume of solute need to be added in 160 ml of solvent. Solvent, they have given this volume of solvent, that is VS2, they have already given 160 ml. And they want you to ask V solute. They are requiring you to calculate V solute. So it is nothing, because question is saying that you have to add the solute. Dekho beta, it is said what volume of solute need to be added. Jayasankar, the problem is asking you to do the same. That is why we are doing that. So it says the solution is already having concentration in such a way that solvent is present 80%. They are giving you that solvent is present 80%. If solvent is present 80%, then automatically solute will be 20%. Because in the questions of solvent, in the questions related to percentage, the total sum will always remain 100, right? So if the solvent is 80%, the solution will contain solute 20%. Okay. Is that okay, beta? If you have derived this information, then just use the formula. It is nothing, it's a very simple problem. So I will be giving you such problem for your homework. Okay, I am giving you some problem, question, homework, simple, just for the practice. Calculate percentage volume by volume of a solution containing 4 ml of methanol in 36 ml of H2O. Okay, this is your first problem, HW. The second one is what volume of solute need to be added in 300 ml of water to get 60% volume of solvent. 60% of volume of solvent. On the given questions, you can solve them very easy. Nothing different. Now let us move to the next one. Percentage weight by volume. That is important. You will not see this. The previous concentration terms will not be used much. That is why I have solved only 2 questions. But our next one is percentage weight by volume. And this will be used frequently. This will be used frequently. It says nothing. It says amount of solute. You can see, I have already told you, whatever is given in the numerator, it will be of solute. And whatever is given in the solvent, it will be of the either solution or solvent. If nothing is mentioned, in general, in most of the cases, the denominator belongs to the solution, right? And to calculate the solution, you require 2 things, that is solute as well as solvent. So weight of solute, that is amount of solute in gram, present per 100 ml of solution. That is the important thing, right? This is the definition. And if you want to write the definition, this is nothing. You can write by yourself weight of solute divided by volume of solution into 100, right? Very simple. If you want to write the unit, what will be the unit for this? Unit will be nothing but gram per ml. That's it. So write it, then I will be giving you one problem. Have you written this, beta? This part? होता है, कोई नहीं, थोड़ा सा ऊपर करना, कोई नहीं. What happened, Jayasankar? It's okay. I thought you got angry. That's okay. That's okay. Try to avoid such mistakes. So I am giving you one problem. Just if there is a problem, it says if a solution has concentration of 30% weight by volume of urea. Okay. If an aqueous solution, it said aqueous solution. Okay, it is aqueous. So now first thing is, can you tell me what does it mean? What does it mean? If it is given 30% weight by volume, if it says 30% weight by volume, what is the meaning of 30% weight by volume of urea? Any one of you? Look at the definition and tell me what does it mean 30% weight by volume. Beta, to be precise, yes, you are right, 30%, but just see here, beta, definition, check the definition, beta. The weight of urea in aqueous solution, beta, come on. You see the definition, amount of solute in gram. So it tells you about how much amount of solute present in gram in upper 100 ml. So it tells you that 30 gram of urea is present in 100 ml of solution. So this is the information is conveyed by only this term. This much information is conveyed through this 30% weight by volume term. Now I am asking how many, how much urea will be present in 5 ml of solution. Any one of you? Quickly. First question is just want you to elaborate this term. First question, Vani, it wants you to elaborate this term. It just want you to tell. No, dear Santosh. Use unitary method, beta. Use unitary method. Anyone else, beta? Anyone else? It says 30% weight by volume. Yes, Anjali, you are right. Absolutely right. 30 gram of urea in 100 ml. Now I am asking how much present in 5 ml. Goli Pirna, you are giving here and there answer. See, in 100 ml, 30 gram. Now in 5 ml. Santosh, you are very close. In 100 ml, 30 gram of solute. Right? In 100 ml, only 30 gram of solute. So in 5 ml, if you have taken 5 ml, and as I have said you, it is uniform or homogeneous mixture. Okay? So just divide it 30 by 100 into 5, that will be 1.5 gram. Right? So I am giving you another question. Calculate percentage weight by volume of solution if it contains 0.5 mole of glucose in 200 ml of solution. So it has given some information. Please solve it, beta. Yes, Mansa, Raju, you all are correct. Janu, Jathot, you are correct. But calculate the percentage weight by volume. The answer will be nothing but it has given you the moles of solute. So solute for us is glucose. It is added now. So weight of solute will become 0.5 into 180. That is 90 gram. And volume of solution they have already given 200 ml. So percentage weight by volume will become 90 gram upon 200 ml into 100. So it will become 45%. Weight by volume. Yes, Raju, you are right. You are absolutely right. I am giving you one very interesting problem, and I expect you to solve from your, and I will discuss it tomorrow. A very simple problem, but it uses concept of density. It says 5 moles of glucose are present in 1.1 kg of water. Okay, and it also says the density of solution is 1.25 gram per ml, and they are asking you calculate percentage weight by volume of the solution. They have given information about glucose, they have given information about water, that is solvent, and they want you to calculate only percentage weight by volume. So I have given you 3 problems and I expect you to solve all these. So how was today's class, beta? How was today's class? Okay, fine. Fine, please solve all the question. Is it 1.25 gram per ml? Per ml, beta. Yes, thanks for your response. Please share your solution on Telegram. Please, you can message me directly. I will look into your solution and try to rectify the mistakes. Okay, you can get their personal attention. So in the initial classes, I think every student requires personal attention from their respective teachers. So this is a good opportunity. Please interact with us and share the solution and whatever. Yes, okay, fine, thanks. I have given you 3 problems. Try to solve them. Okay, and do not hesitate. Fine, we will meet tomorrow with the other concentration terms. Thank you so much.